right, let's dive into the Super Attractor philosophy. This is all about a different way to reach your goals. Not by forcing and struggling, but by attracting what you want with a sense of ease and, well, flow. So let's start with a question I think we've all asked ourselves at some point. We're kind of taught from day one that to achieve anything great, you have to struggle, you have to grind, maybe even burn out. But what if that whole idea is actually what's holding you back? What if there's an easier, more joyful way to get what you really want? And this really gets to the heart of the whole paradigm shift. On one side, you've got what's called the struggle addiction. It's that constant cycle of trying to force things, control every little detail, and it just leads to total exhaustion. But on the other side, that's the super attractor path. It's all about allowing, trusting the universe, and moving from a place of ease. It's like you stop fighting the current and you just start flowing with it. So how do we actually do this? Well, the key concept here is manifesting. But let's get clear on what that really means, because it's not just wishful thinking. It's an active process. It's about cultivating the feeling of what you want inside you first. The core idea is that the universe responds to your energy. When you feel good, you attract good things. You're basically co-creating your reality by managing your internal state. Okay, so before we can start attracting everything we want, we first have to figure out what's standing in the way. This first part of the journey is all about diagnosing that resistance. The inner blocks that are stopping the flow. And take a look at this list. I'm guessing a lot of these probably sound pretty familiar, right? There's that scarcity mindset, the idea that there's just not enough to go around. Or comparison, which we all do, measuring our lives against everyone else's highlight reel. These are all just low vibration thought patterns that literally create an energetic wall between you and what you desire. But here's what's really powerful to realize. These blocks, they're not all separate problems you have to solve one by one. More often than not, they all spring from one single root fear. The deep-seated fear of not having enough or not being enough. When you feel unworthy on some level, you automatically create resistance. Just seeing that, just acknowledging it, is the first step to taking its power away. So if the problem is a low vibration fear, then the solution has to be learning how to consciously manage and elevate our own emotional energy. So let's get into the tools for how to actually do that. Think of this as a roadmap for your energy, the emotional guidance scale. Way down at the bottom, you have feelings of deep misalignment, like fear or grief. And way up at the top, you've got peak alignment, joy, love, appreciation. Now, the goal is not to try and leap from despair to joy in one go. That's just not realistic. The real work, the real secret, is to simply reach for the next better feeling thought. Seriously, even moving from anger to blame is progress because you're climbing a rung up that ladder. And here is the tool you can use to climb that ladder anytime, any moment you need it. It's called the Choose Again method. It's a super simple 3-step process. First, you just notice the negative fear-based thought without judgment. Second, you forgive the thought. Thank it for showing you what you don't want. And third, you consciously choose again. You deliberately reach for the best feeling thought you can access in that moment. It's like an instant pattern interrupt for your brain. All right, so once you start to get a handle on your emotional state, then it's time for action. But this isn't the old school forceful kind of action we're used to. This is something called spiritually aligned action. And trust me, it feels completely different. So, how do these different methods work together? Well, think of it this way. The Choose Again method, that's your in-the-moment tool. It's for emotional course correction, like a daily mindset tune-up. The spiritually aligned action method, on the other hand, is the structured process you use when you're working towards a specific long-term desire. One manages your state, the other directs that state toward a goal. A really powerful way to start taking this kind of aligned action is with a simple morning journaling exercise. Every morning, you just ask yourself these 4 questions. You're setting your energetic intention for the entire day. You decide on your identity, how you want to feel, what you're open to receiving, and this is so important, what you intend to give. This puts you right in the driver's seat of your own vibration. Now, this next piece might be the most crucial and maybe the hardest part of this whole process. After you've aligned your energy and taken that inspired action, you have to let go. You have to surrender the outcome. A really powerful way to practice this is to add the little phrase "or something better" to every desire you have. This releases your white-knuckle grip on one specific outcome and opens you up to possibilities that are way beyond what you could have imagined. So what does it actually look like when you start to integrate all of these principles into your day-to-day? Well, it stops being a technique and it starts becoming a way of life, one that's supported by simple daily rituals. And here is a fantastic daily practice, the manifesting walk. It's so simple and so effective. You just head out for a 15-minute walk, and as you walk, you repeat a present tense affirmation. Something like, I am abundant and the universe is guiding me. That I am part matches your energy to the desire as if it's already here, and adding the universe is guiding me activates that all-important trust and surrender. And what about that big looming question of purpose? From the Super Attractor perspective, you don't have to go on some frantic, stressful search for it. Your purpose naturally emerges when you consistently make it a priority to feel good and to be of service to others. Your purpose is fulfilled just by you being a source of positive light in the world. You know, if there's one single principle to take away from this entire philosophy, it's this, right here. This is the ultimate commitment of living as a super attractor. When you decide to make feeling good your absolute highest priority, everything else just starts to fall into place. Your thoughts, your actions, your results, they all flow from that one core decision. And so to bring all of this right into this very moment, I'll just leave you with this question. Forget about yesterday, don't stress about tomorrow. Right here, right now, what is the best feeling thought you can find? Because that, right there, that's where all the work and all the magic begins.
Rise up, rise high. Let your spirit take flight. Chase the stars, never back down from the fight. We're warriors inside.